Hello, welcome back to Sukie's vlogs. Now in my last video I said I was going to tell you about my physiotherapy. So yeah, I'm going to show you that and talk a little bit about physiotherapy and Marfan patients and physiotherapy. So basically I've been given this sheet here. Now usually this is exercises they do for osteoarthritis patients. Can you see that clearly, cameraman?
I can indeed.
Right, now most of these aren't any good for a Marfan patient to do, especially me, because where I've had the spinal fusion, doing certain bends and things like that isn't any good. He's crossed out here ones that I shouldn't do because that's going to be too harsh on my hips there. This one would probably be too tricky for me. But yeah, most of these he's told me not to do. But the ones he showed me to do for the time being until I get my proper appointment at their clinic for regular therapy sessions, he's told me to do this one here. Oh yeah, and this one here, look, number 3 and number 4, that's a definite no-no for me. Where I've had the spinal fusion for scoliosis, I have metal rods holding my spine straight, so bending my spine like that is near on impossible and could be very detrimental to my spine. So those ones are no good. But he's asked me to do these ones, which is, I'll be doing them in a minute. But if I start first with these ones basically I have to sit on something high, in a slump position with my arms behind my back, and then I have to swing my legs basically. So I'm going to show you that one quickly. I just try and perch up here without killing myself. That'd be good. Right, so basically I have to sit my arms behind my back like that in a slump position, and then I have to do 3 sets, 30 seconds. Hello, Ree. You come to help me with my physio. Yeah, you're going to be my spotter. Come on now. Right, so basically I've got to swing my legs out and point my toe up. And then the next one like that. And I've got to do 3 30-second sets of this basically. And this is all to help my hip and my lower back. So that's that one that I've got to do. I've got a few more here that I have to do. You bring the knees up to your chest one. I've got a bicycle one to do. So I'm going to have to go and lay on the floor in the living room to show you that one, if my cameraman follows me. And is my spotter going to follow me as well? No, you're going to stay there and have a scratch all over my kitchen side. You do know I prepare food there. Thank you. Right, so I've got to lay on the floor. Oh god, this is going to be tricky. If you're lucky, you might hear some popping of joints. Let me just turn my purifier off. Let's see if we get any joint popping. Getting on the floor and off the floor is very difficult. Right, so basically I'll do the bicycle one. I have to lay straight and then bring my leg up and in and then out again, sort of like I'm riding a bike. And again I have to do 3 30-second sets of that. And then Gigi's having a go now. And the next one I have to do is again on the floor. And I have to put my feet right back in, which is really hard. I have to put my heels to my bottom, which is nearly impossible. And then I have to roll my knees, and try and get them flat to the ground, which again is impossible, and back the other way. And that is quite difficult, but I suppose the more I do it, the easier it's gonna become. Let me just get off the floor. But my joints are very, well, I'm hypermobile, but my joints can be very stiff. It's because with Marfan Syndrome, you got to keep moving, you got to keep the joints moving, because if you don't, you get a lot of problems with them. So with me, where I've not been getting the medical help physio-wise that I've needed all along, my joints are in very bad shape. So it's just kind of like they're trying to help me get them back to a workable order kind of thing. But yeah, that was my physio exercises that I've got to do. I've got an appointment, they're just ones that I'm doing for now until I get the appointment for the therapy clinic, which they have a really long waiting list. Now luckily my rheumatologist has put me to the top of that list, which is quite good. So I got an appointment for next month, for May, so that's going to be good. So I've got to go there for the first consultation to speak to them about the problems I have and about what would be best for me to be doing, because it's all very well and good them giving me a few little ones now to do, but they have to tailor make it for me, for the Marfan patient, because a lot of things Marfan patients can't do, because where we have weak joints, we have weak muscles, our connective tissue is all out of whack, you know. Anything they do could be detrimental. Where I have joints that like to dislocate, if they're doing the wrong type of exercise for me, they could end up dislocating my leg or breaking my leg or something. So they've got to kind of take it slow and easy and sort of tailor make it for me. So, which is good. I like the fact that they are taking their time over it and making sure they're getting the right treatment for me. But I also will be seeing the occupational therapist. I remember seeing them when I was like a little kid at school, and they kind of helped with my hands and helping me like with using pencils and pens and things. So I'm guessing they'll be giving me exercises for my hands and my wrists to help that, because I do have a lot of problems with my wrists and hands. And let's see if we can get a click out of this. Did you hear that? I don't know if the camera picked that up, but there was a few crunches and clicks there. But yeah, I'm going to quickly show you something actually that I find very helpful exercises for my hands. If you follow me again. Now, I don't know about other Marfan patients. I'm pretty sure they face the same struggle I do. But my hands, I get a lot of cramps in my hands, especially doing things like writing or whatever, you know. And I need to keep my muscles in my hands built up, because sometimes my fingers are too loose. And the expression butterfingers, that rings very true with me, because I can't control my fingers and hands sometimes because the joints are so loose. So I end up picking things up and dropping them. So I tend to like try and do little exercise thingies to keep my fingers and hands in working order. So one of the things I do is Scooby strings. I've done quite a few of these. I'm quite addicted to it at the moment. But Scooby strings, if you don't know what that is, I'll show you. I've started one here. They're basically these plasticky kind of strings that you kind of weave together into patterns. And it's quite fiddly, but it gives your fingers the right sort of exercise. Now you can make key rings. You do all different kinds of colours and patterns and shapes. You do key rings, you can do bracelets, you make all sorts with them. So yeah, do give that a go, because I find it very helpful. Sometimes when doing it I do start to get a cramp in my hands, or when my hands start to cramp up while doing it, I put it down for a little while and I stretch my hands out and give them a rest, you know. So I do think this type of stuff is very useful for us, for Marfan patients. It keeps the hands going, you know. So do give that a try. Also, another thing give a try, it's a big craze at the moment, loom bands. That's quite good. I used to do that. Also knitting, that's quite good for the hands. I'm not much of a knitter though, but some of you are. But give stuff like that a try, because it's a fun little hobby and it is good for exercising your hands. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go now and get on with my physiotherapy. I do hope this has been helpful, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.